revolution in Africa. Agnes, so what is AGRA doing to support the transformation of agri-food systems in Africa? And what are the main challenges, particularly where you think, how can we do this at scale? And as the minister from the UAE also said, doing this fast.
No, thank you so much. Here, I really can't help but recall what the moderator started with, but indicating what's happening on the African continent. I mean, 2 to 3 Africans live in the agriculture sector, in the food system. They get their livelihood in the agriculture, in the food system, which is failing. 2 to 3 mothers are struggling to feed their children. So that's the reason that what's happening in South Africa is really real. So, what are we doing as AGRA given the challenges we sit amidst? I'll probably just call out 3 areas. One, following the Food Systems Summit, we decided that helping the continent understand food systems and start designing food system plans that are investable would be a good place to start really ensuring that anyone who is looking to invest in the continent has a sense of what type of programs available, especially when it comes to unlocking private sector resources. We now have 20 to 25 countries that between them need $10 billion to be able to transform their food system. And if you think that this is a lot, if we don't do it, we'll spend two and a half times as much. We're already spending 50% of the investments we send out there in humanitarian support to these countries to deal with food challenges in social protection. IFAD and World Bank have done a report to show that 50% of the development of the resources that are going out there are going in social protection. So we're already doing this stuff. The question is, can we start tilting the balance towards more investment so that there's an end in sight? So anyway, so the next thing we are doing then is trying to take advantage of the fact that in 2 years, the CADAP framework that Africa has signed up to is coming to an end. And this is a huge opportunity for us to not only build the new CADAP framework, to build it on the common position that the African continent has taken on from a food system perspective. So in that, we are looking at population. How is African population going to be? Where is it going to be concentrated? How is this going to affect our agroecologies, and how do we design better agroecologies? But more importantly, how do you take advantage of the 3 frameworks that are now approved and should be working? We have an infrastructure framework of connecting Africa to Africa that is very underinvested. We have a free continental trade framework that has been approved, and if invested, could double trade in Africa. And of course, we have the CADAP framework, which with the Africa Food Systems framework or common position should define how we invest differently in the food system. So the opportunities for investments are sitting in there. The last one is what we are doing from a convening perspective. We have transformed what used to be Africa's Green Revolution Forum into Africa's largest food systems forum. Many of you were in this forum last week, and I really appreciate your support. But what this forum does is to really then start bringing the continent together on critical issues and agreeing and advancing and advocating for what we should be doing and how fast we get there. I mean, just speed is the speed we are currently using means that if we don't do things differently in 2015, just another 25 years, which is the framework of the CADAP that I'm talking about, Africa will be the hungriest continent, will be the poorest continent. And I don't know whether Africa needs that or the rest of the world needs that. Because you all are spending so much money to keep people alive. We need to move from keeping people alive to creating jobs and to advancing development on the African continent so that it can be an equal player. Thank you.